Hello, Pocket Friends. Yeah, I think I'm over the episodes thing. I have a feeling that it tends to confuse a lot of potential viewers as well, although I'm not doing this channel or anything on it particularly with optimizing for viewership in mind. And I kind of just came here and rode a roller coaster. I was going to be Mystic, but they were doing exclusive ride time for Gold Pass members since 9:30 in the AM, which I didn't know was a thing. We're going to talk more about that Gold Pass. And so I ended up riding the Beast, which, yeah, geez. The first half of that ride is real fun. And the second half is like a chair that you lose a fight with. It's really too bad. But anyway, yeah, I am wondering when I do the inevitable, when I make this a channel that isn't really about roller coasters per se. And it might be right now. Except that means talking about serious things, but let's talk about that Gold Pass actually. So all of the Six Flags parks have just in this last week, I think, announced this sale on the season pass for the next year. That's something they regularly do because my pass actually does not include like the October, the kind of postseason stuff, the Haunt and the Winterfest. So if you buy a season pass for next year now, you also get that time this year. But they're doing a thing now, and I think every Six Flags park is just saying, yeah, you buy a Gold Pass, you get admission to all parks. You get free parking at all parks. There's invisible bugs in front of me. That was not a statement about the Gold Passes. No. But there are some reasons to be suspicious of this move because basically it's a classic example of cutting your own throat by discounting. Like, as a pass holder, I myself bought kind of the bottom tier pass, so I end up paying out of pocket for food here, but I don't get a lot, and I don't stay a long time, and that's when people really put out the money is over time, because you need drinks, you need food, you need something. There is the next tier of the pass above me, and I think I was offered like the opportunity to upgrade to this, is you have a meal plan. You have certain locations in the park that sell food, but you just get a certain allotment that you don't have to pay for. You just pay a pretty low flat fee up front to upgrade your pass to that. And that is just a lot of people who clog the park up, make it crowded, make it a less pleasant experience for everyone, and don't put in any additional revenue. They kind of break the fundamental business model of theme parks. So now for me personally, in this area of the country, the only other Six Flags park I'm going to go to is Cedar Point. And this pass pays for itself if I go to Cedar Point once. If I even go to Cedar Point this year, it pays for itself. But I might not do that. And also, is Six Flags cutting its own throat here? Are they looking for a short-term goose of money that is going to end up choking them out? And is it responsible for me, as a person who wants these places to keep existing? I mean, realistically, a park like Kings Island, they're never going to close. They're going to sell it to somebody else, if they do anything at all. But in general, if I want theme parks to be viable, because there is going to be consolidation in that market. I think Six Flags is always going to be here in some form. But are we working against the long-term viability of theme parks if we go with the short-term deal here? Like, what is our responsibility as consumers? And what a horrible question that is, right? Why are we not, like, looking at the fact that we have to ask ourselves this and going, hey, is this maybe a local maximum? Is there maybe another whole ass way to do this that would just be better all around? I mean, I've made my biases clear on this channel. I think yes. But the devil's in the details. And so we return to Zodiac Books Plaza. Before we go any further, I want to shout out a podcast called Tower Topics, which is kind of how I twigged to this topic in particular. They cover a lot of topics. because they make content like 3 times a week or something ridiculous like that. I dip in and out. I have a lot of interest. So they're pretty down on the whole subject of this pass being open to all 42 Six Flags parks, including the water parks. They don't like it, but that might just be kind of for content purposes. I think it is probably a-okay. Because Six Flags isn't going to be 42 parks for long. Six Flags is probably going to be 6 parks at some point, and I'll tell you why I think that. They have already announced that they plan to invest heavily in just 6 parks, and all of them are former Six Flags locations, not former Cedar Fair locations, which is interesting because the people in charge now are mostly ex-Cedar Fair people. But yeah, they're investing in Great Adventure outside of New York. They're investing in Six Flags Great America outside of Chicago. They're investing in Over Georgia. They're investing in Over Texas, the original. They're investing in Fiesta, Texas, which is 4 hours away from Over Texas. Texas is big. And they're investing in Magic Mountain, north of LA. Those are the parks that they really want to make like year-round destinations, and I think for some of those at least, they can probably do that. For the rest of their parks, and certainly the independent little water park locations and whatever, they are either going to let them sit around being cash cows and giving them a minimal amount of investment, or they're going to sell them. It may be more likely that they let Kings Island sit here being a cash cow and not getting a lot of investment, because it does have that local store of people like me who are gonna buy passes every year, whether they build a new roller coaster or not. There are also arguments to be made for Kings Island as a more attractive thing to sell, a more attractive park to sell, because Kings Island has room to expand in a way that, for example, Cedar Point, being completely full and landlocked, does not. But I think they're probably gonna try to sell Cedar Point. I think they're probably going to try to sell a lot of the smaller parks in their portfolio, most of the former Cedar Fair parks. I think it's interesting that news has just come out about the parks where the land is more valuable than selling the park. That news has come out first, that they're just closing those parks, maybe because they want to get everything clear to make the land more attractive for sale. Or maybe because they have to cast a wider net for investors, or because they can cast a wider net for investors. We're gonna have to talk about California's Great America at some point. It is not the serious topic I had in mind earlier, but I still don't want to talk about it now. Oh dear Lord. I imagine most of my viewers are going to know this about Monopoly, but it was designed to be a bad game, and it's so just bitterly funny to me. I have a big tabletop games background, that it's become the game that you just put some different pictures in and make 1,000 of. Just so many opolies. It was designed to show, like all games exist to make people interact in a way that they wouldn't otherwise. And Monopoly was designed to show people that landlords are bad. And now it's like the machine that we use to teach generations upon generations of children that if you're lucky, you get to have fun in this life, and if you're not, you don't. Well, why am I thinking about that? I'm not really. Hello, sirs and or madams. Do you consent to my using your image in a public video? Oh man, he's taking this plant down. Yes, hello. How are you enjoying your day so far? What do you think of the new Gold Pass sale? Do the two of you know that someone on the gardening team put that there on purpose? Yeah, I don't have bread or fries. Thanks for hanging out. It's possible that I need more friends. Yeah, it's nice and quiet out here at least. I don't feel like I fully have a video. And I don't feel like this is behavior that is fully getting me what I want. You know, it's above and beyond the product. And like I said earlier, like I'm not making this to be, I'm not optimizing this for hyper consumability or anything. I wish it were easier to find places in this park to just kind of be in a park. And I wish I was in a situation where it was less risky for me to talk about things that are on my mind. But my life is very contingent right now, like a lot of people's. I'm very grateful that I'm able to be here, even though I suspect that my being here is not conducive to the long-term health of the place. I think if I keep going off that way, there is a path over to the Great Wolf Lodge, which maybe I just need to start hanging out in their lobby. Hotels are pretty good with that. I'll probably find people working on their laptops. Do you have to pay for parking over there? So, this shot makes it look like I've succeeded in finding a nice, secluded, idyllic spot to have a coffee at the Great Wolf Lodge. Here's how that really went. Oh, yeah, if you're here for longer than half an hour, it's $20. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I'm behind an independent coffee shop whose name I've already forgotten. I'll try to get a shot of it and drop it here. In downtown Mason, Ohio, near the park. I just want to wrap up by saying something that I decided to give a try today, and I'm grateful that it worked. I rode the Beast as my first ride. The last time I tried that, as documented on this channel, I ended up with a pretty bad headache because the second section of that ride after the second lift hill is just you know, some sort of crime. Here's what I did to change my experience. When I was in the tunnel in that double helix, I just let my head loll around instead of trying to hold it up at all. I even kind of went half-lidded and just, you know, I have a lot of practice relaxing. Maybe we'll talk about that some other time. And this worked. I did not get a headache. I guess it's like the drunk thing, where if you go limp or your muscles are quote unquote naturally more relaxed because you're drunk, then you get less injured in falls. The whole problem the whole time is that I'm trying to hold myself up, and I shouldn't be. Of course, helpfully there are no like over shoulder restraints or anything that you can bang your head on the Beast. It certainly bangs you the hell up otherwise. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy my beverage. I'm gonna look at articles about the internet on my phone, and maybe we should talk more about the internet soon. So there's a warning. All right. We're also probably going to explore Mason a little bit more. Maybe today. Maybe the video's not over. Maybe I don't understand form any better than anyone else.